At this point, you should have code so that the circle moves down to the first gray circle when you first start the movie, and then will change to the new location when you click on the button. It'll change over to the right-hand circle. And then also when you click on the circle itself, it should update the current location when you press on the circle. So go ahead and add that code, and then go on to this next part, which is actually dealing with the mouse location. Now, originally I had thought I would use this cursor and have it move as we want, but I think that's causing a little bit of a problem. So I'm just going to be showing you how we update the mouse location, just the same as we update the location of this circle. So here's the code that I have. Here's the mouse cursor. And the very first thing that I'm going to do is actually trace the location of the mouse X and the mouse Y. What this does is shows me on my trace output where the location is currently. So my location was kind of on the left-hand side when I first started up or right-hand side, so that's showing me those two numbers. Now that's not really going to do us much good because we really want to see how the location updates as we move our mouse. So here's the code to be able to do that. The first thing we need to do is to create a function which gets the mouse location. So function get mouse location, and this is going to be an event : event, and of course we can have the void in here. And we'll have our first curly bracket and end our curly bracket. Then we're going to output the text, which is this dot mouse location underscore txt, and that is the name of that particular instance name right there. We're going to change the text so that it equals the mouse location x plus, then I have a parenthesis pipe, a space pipe, parenthesis, or what is that, a quotation mark rather, then plus this dot mouse y. So that means that I will get an updatable mouse x and y inside that text field. Then to the stage, I'm going to add an event listener, which is a mouse event dot mouse underscore move. So anytime that I move the mouse, it will run the function called get mouse location. So make sure that you check that and that the syntax is correct, and then you can test your movie with Control Enter. And you'll see that anytime I move the mouse, it will update the mouse location dynamically. Now that can be really useful because you can use that to help you target things like in games, so that each time you click, it will find out where the location of the mouse is currently and be able to make something fire at where the mouse is currently. There's a lot of things. You can also do custom cursors, and that's what we were going to do. However, there's a bug with custom cursors that I don't want to go into right now, so I'm going to bypass that. What I'd like you to do for the rest of this tutorial is to set the properties that you see here to the right, alpha to 50%, visibility to false, width and height to the numbers here, and scale to 120. That's X scale and Y scale. I'd like you to set those to defaults when you first load the movie, and then when you click on the buttons that are below, I'd like you to update those properties for each of the circles above. Now you'll find that we will be updating or creating our first initial properties just like we created these properties here. So you might want to do a new section beneath and go ahead and give comments for circles on the right or whatever, so that we have it clear that that is that section. Now also be aware that they don't have instance names right now, so you will need to give them instance names before you apply those different properties. So let me know if you have any questions, and that would be the end of this tutorial. Thanks. And of course, save your work when you're done.